r/ask Reddit. What is your guess? I can't go into that store ever again story. I got a gym membership for the first time recently. A lot of the machines are pretty self-explanatory, but I've never used a lot of them, so I have no idea what I'm doing. So a few weeks ago I'm trying out the endless stare machine, and in front of me is a guy on a machine working his arms, like making circular pedaling motions. I thought, I could do my arms too. So I take the machine next to his, set the timer for 10 minutes, just circling away. I finish my 10 minutes, and look down by the seat to see handles. It was a leg machine. I sat there for 10 minutes in front of the entire gym, God, and everybody circling my arms like a lunatic. I mean, I'm still going back, because I paid for it, but I'm not going to look anyone in the eye there ever again. Back when I was getting married I was sick as a dog and my soon-to-be bride insisted we go shopping for the wedding invites. Went into this pretty higher-end shop, and really felt ill, and not just at the prices. Asked one of the workers if they had a restroom I could use. Long story short, took a massive smelly diarrhea dump, clogged the toilet, and they had no plunger to fix it with. Even though I only flushed once, the toilet kept running, and it started to overflow. Rushed out, closed the door, grabbed my bride by the arm and just said, "We gotta go." I was with a group of friends in a very quiet store. We were slowly leaving one by one through the double glass doors. One of it was closed, and the other stayed opened. I somehow thought the closed door was opened and vice versa, so I walked smack into the middle of the closed glass door. My face was imprinted on it. I guess my face was very oily. My friends and the shopkeeper came rushing to see if I was okay. Then all marveled at my squashed face imprint. I left quickly. Every time I walk past that shop I make sure I'm looking down or at the other side in case the staff recognize my face. Went on a first date with this girl to a new restaurant in town. She proceeded to get sloppy drunk and made a huge scene. From the classic could not control the volume of her voice to insisting on trying to show me and some other gentleman nearby what kind of underwear she had on while loudly insisting that she's a good girl though. The server we had seemed to get that I was not a willing part of this, but I was so mortified there's no way I'd ever go back. I was in a souvenir shop in London, England, with all these knickknacks and whatnot. I bumped a shelf that had a bunch of models of Big Ben, and like 6 or 7 of them fell off the shelf and broke. I offered to pay for them, but the employees blew it off. I guess minimum wage workers don't care enough about their actual company policy. Thankfully, I was grateful, and now I will never return to that particular store. A friend was getting married and asked me to make her wedding dress. We went to a fabric store to check out our options and get swatches. She asked to use the shop's bathroom. A few minutes later, she walked out quickly and whispered to me, "We need to get the fuck out here now." Turns out she had explosive diarrhea and absolutely destroyed the bathroom. Neither of us have been back. I went to buy groceries almost daily, always in the same store. Most of the time only one checkout lane was open and there was always this really friendly older lady there. She would always make small talk with me and compare me to her son. After a few years of this, I moved a bit farther away, but never told her. So I just didn't show up anymore. Now I won't ever go back there because I feel ashamed I didn't tell her and just abandoned her. I'm sure she will be happy to see you again. Or she's dead and died never knowing what became of her beloved grocery boyfriend. My partner and I were out for dinner. Suddenly she looked at me and said she had to go to the bathroom. She jumped up and at that moment projectile vomited all over the table. Running to the bathroom she carried on vomiting all over the floor. After about 10 minutes I get a text from my partner to come to the bathroom. I knocked on the door, was a single bathroom, and she opened it and politely informed me she had defecated herself from the force of throwing up. Oh my. After she done what she could to clean up the bathroom, we had to walk through a party of employees mopping her vomit up whilst my jacket around her waist. I paid the bill and swiftly left. We got in the car and never looked back. I quite liked that restaurant, and now we can never step foot in it again. I was in college. I had just come from work, and was heading for a final exam. As stepped out of my car, my pants pocket caught on something and ripped a 12-inch hole from the pocket, down the butt, and into the taint area. There was no time to go back to my apartment, but there was a Goodwill just off campus. I hustled over there and walked in with my coat conspicuously tied around my waist. To any observer, I was clearly in a hurry and distressed. I beelined it for the men's pants and took the first pair of my size into the dressing room. They fit, so I pulled the tag off and left them on. I headed to the checkout and gave the lady the tag. "I'm gonna wear them out, but can I get a bag for these?" I asked, holding the wadded up pants I had come in with. She looked horrified. I just pushed through it. As I reached my car again, a realization dawned. She thinks I shit my pants. A few years ago I got drunk for the first time in my life with a few of my friends. I ran into a Harvey's and told them I felt like an octopus, belly flopped on the ground, and proceeded to swim on the floor in front of everyone in the restaurant. My friends promptly picked me up and carried me out onto the parking lot. A few minutes later, I managed to break free from them and ran back into the Harvey's and screamed the octopus is back and proceeded to swim on the floor again. Haven't been back since. My friend who started working there says they have a code octopus for whenever they need to remove drunks from the restaurant, so yeah. I was paying in a shop 3 weeks ago and was fishing for change in my pocket, but didn't really have as good a grip on it as I thought I had, so as I confidently pulled my hand out to finish up my transaction, I sent a deadly handful of coin shrunken at the poor cashier, who locked eyes with me as I was doing this. Did I overpay for a bag of crisps and some Haribo? Yes. Did I care about anything other than escape at that point? No. I sort of screamed, choked out "keep the change," and bolted out of the store. Did I proceed to eat the snacks in shame, wrapped up in my guilt for assaulting that poor guy? Also yes. I matched with a very handsome guy on Tinder and we got on really well, and after chatting for a bit he revealed that he actually owned my favorite pizza restaurant. I mean, this is seriously amazing pizza. I couldn't believe my luck. It occurred to me that if things turned out well he could bring me pizza all the time. I mentioned that I was looking for a FWB situation, and he seemed a bit creeped out and stopped responding and unmatched me a few days later. Haven't been back to his restaurant since, even though it's 5 minutes from my workplace. Just way too awkward, haha. I botched a home hair coloring and decided to call the local salon chain where I had been getting my hair cut for years. They were very understanding over the phone, assuring me that they would take a look at what I did and see if they could fix it by getting it to the desired color, or else see what they could do to restore the natural color. When I arrived, I was the only one in the salon, but after I took my hat off, the staff immediately lost their professionalism and started roasting me. I stayed in the chair for about 5 minutes as they made snide comments about my intelligence, sense of style, and this being the final straw, my sexuality. I finally stormed out, and I've never been back. One time when in college I was waiting to meet a friend to work on a project. To kill time, I decided to look around a little home decor store. I mean, little. The place was incredibly tiny and packed. It had small gifts, throw pillows, those little lanyards for eating glasses, that type of stuff, on shelves all over. While turning around at the back, my giant backpack swung around and knocked a fancy glass candle to the ground and shattered it. I was so apologetic and tried to help clean up, but the only money I had to my name was $1, so I couldn't even pay for the damages. I awkwardly gave the shop girl my dollar and felt terrible and never ever went back. Oof, it still hurts to think about. Me and my boyfriend recently went to Slovakia, and there was this certain public toilets that we went to quite a lot throughout our trip because it was in the middle of the city almost. So one night we are walking through, and I feel the thunderous rumble of a monster poop coming along, and we just so happened to be close to that public toilet. So we get there, pay the lady her money, and I absolutely let rip in this cubicle. When I'm done, I'm feeling the usual great after poop lightness, and I go to flush. And it doesn't. I try again and again. It's not flushing. I have no choice but to leave my poop stranded in that sad pool of toilet paper shame. The moment I step out of the cubicle, the nice lady I previously gave money to sneaks into the cubicle to do her usual cleaning duty things, and I nearly run to the sink, shove my hands under the tap, and start briskly walking up the stairs, aggressively whispering we need to leave to my boyfriend. Said to my boyfriend we can't ever use that public toilet ever again.